You're listening to The Case of Armando, Book 1, in the Murders in the Dude Morgue series. Written by Leo Sparx. Narrated by Can Be Erotic. Published by Four Horsemen Publishing Incorporated. Copyright Leo Sparx in 2021. All rights reserved. Leo Sparx is a digital artist who is bringing his fascination with the history of queer sex to the literary Erotica world. Inspiration for his work is often found during virtual orgies, trips to offbeat museums, or classic, occasionally spooky, literature. His unique blend of steamy sensations and dark passion takes the reader on a kinky exploration and allows them to experience encounters in unexpected locations. www.leosparx.com, Instagram.com/author Leo Sparx, Twitter.com/author Leo Sparx, author Leo Sparx at gmail.com. Dedication. To the world-famous Parliament House. Thanks for the memories. Chapter 1. I was chest-deep in the foam pit when something rigid brushed against my naked thigh. Soft but firm, the fleshy object poked through the machine-produced bubbles, pouring from above onto a sea of men dancing nearly shoulder to shoulder. The suds had gotten so thick I couldn't see through them when I looked down to identify the mystery cock, but it could have been anyone. A warm hand pulled me by the abdomen, closer to the rod until it was pulsing between my slippery ass cheeks. I was already hard and ready for him to stroke me. A little public fun was exactly what I needed right now. But when I turned to face the figure attached to the impressive thickness, I tripped. My foot kicked something on the soapy ground. It didn't kick back. It didn't move at all. "Wait," I said to the faceless man and an ocean of skin treading through the party bubbles. How the clothing-optional foam pit at gay clubs became a tradition, I never totally understood. But tonight, once I was drunk enough, I started to see the appeal. Until now. I pushed my big toe against the mass obstructing my movement. The features of the man who had been fondling me were still unclear, but I felt him pull away the second I said, "Something is down there." His grip left my waist, and the words traveled over the rippling waves of white froth. Even with the motor expelling the suds and constant house music blasting, everything felt ominously quiet for just a moment. I uttered the forbidden phrase no one wanted to hear. As if I'd become the leader of a strange religion, the crowd parted to give me space for an inspection. This was not what I'd come in here to do, but still, I dove. It probably wasn't necessary to hold my breath or close my eyes to venture through the lather, but I did it anyway, instinctively. Scrambling on my hands and knees on the uneven concrete, I felt around blindly and traced the outline of the lump. It was big and just as fleshy as the dick that had been prodding me moments before, but far more wrinkled. The mass was more than a cock. It was an entire human body. Emerging from the depths of the suds, I was wearing an unintentional and unfashionable foam crown. My disciple stood silent, ready for an answer, while I patted the soapy cap away. It caught on a breeze and headed for the stars. I didn't want to be the one to tell them what I'd found. The beat in the courtyard continued to pump, while DuPont eyed me from outside the pit and smudged a cigarette into a plastic ashtray. Smoke coiled into the night sky and joined the disintegrating suds. This was the second body that had been found at the masquerade in the past week, and part of me already knew it had something to do with DuPont. It made me wish he'd never stepped foot in my morgue before the weekend started. It made me wish I'd never met Augustine DuPont at all. Only days before, the first body that had been discovered at the masquerade was rolled into my lab wearing a leather harness and jockstrap. The deceased and I had never fucked, but I recognized his defined pectoral muscles. I'd seen the symmetrically toned chest on the dance floor before, still alive, swaying and huffing something in his fist. The report said the ID in the fanny pack, attached to his backless underwear, identified the corpse as Edmund Monstrosaur, but I only remembered acquaintances at the club referring to him as that hot mess, Monty. "One of yours?" the sheriff who'd brought him in asked.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?